All right. Good morning, maybe start of the afternoon to some people. I'm just going to give it a minute, let folks come in. All right. Hey, Bill, thanks for joining us. Bill's one of our new board members from Columbia. Julie from EcoSticks. Scott Jenkins, always a pleasure. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So thank you for joining us for a Green Sports Alliance webinar. For anyone getting to know the Alliance, we are a membership-driven organization. We exist to leverage the power of sports to promote healthy, sustainable communities where we live, work, and play. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can email me. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Katie. I'm the manager of events and operations for the Green Sports Alliance, but happy to pass you along to our memberships team. We are officially 27 days out from the 2025 Green Sports Alliance Summit. You can check out our agenda. It is now live and nearly filled up if you scan the QR code here. A quick reminder to book your hotel. Under our hotel block, it ends in 4 days. So once you register, your confirmation email will have the hotel block in it. But I'm also going to put it in the chat right now so everyone has it. And if you're also interested in becoming a volunteer, we only have a few more slots left. If you're interested, I'm also going to put the form in the chat as well. If you're a college student, if you're looking for event experience, if you're looking to change your careers, if you're looking to network with folks like who's on this webinar right now, everyone will be there. So today we're going to be discussing the 2025 Sustainable Sport Index. Side note, if you do have questions throughout this webinar, there's a Q&A box that you should have capabilities to, usually where the chat is. So write your questions in here. We can answer them live or we will get to them at the end. And today we are joined by Jamie with Aptum, Gabrielle with SSI or Sustainable Sport Index, Ryan with the Minnesota Twins, and Christy with the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm going to pass it to Gabrielle.
Sweet. Thank you so much. Perfect. We can start off. Jamie and I often get asked the question, what is Aptum? What does it stand for? Things like that. And Aptum is not an acronym. It does not stand for anything, but we are a leading provider in environmental and sustainability solutions. We work with organizations, including sports venues, teams, and leagues to help them operate more sustainably and just prepare for the future. We offer a wide range of services that cover sustainability, resilience, and compliance. That means that we help clients meet their goals, manage risk, cut costs, and even boost profitability. So our team specializes in strategic planning, decarbonization, water and waste management, emergency preparedness. So we partner with clients to just make sure their sustainability efforts align with their business goals. Perfect. So how do we turn those sustainability goals into reality? Aptum offers services to support clients every step of the way. We conduct both virtual and on-site assessments. We identify areas for improvement. We provide strategic guidance for compliance, and we can even assist in green certification, like LEED and TRUE. And then we support data collection and benchmarking. Clients can track their progress towards sustainability targets, and we just work closely with clients to just help develop actionable and long-term strategies. So let's jump into the benchmarking report. So the Sustainable Sport Index, or as we like to just shorten it to SSI, is not only a benchmarking report, it's just the only benchmarking report of its kind focused specifically on sustainability in sports venues. It collects and analyzes self-reported data from venues across North America. However, we do have plans to try and expand this globally in the future. The result is an anonymized aggregated set of that data, which provides a comprehensive snapshot of the industry's sustainability performance. So this resource is used by consultants, venue operators, sustainability professionals, and even students for research. Each participating venue also receives a confidential customized report of its individual data. And just want to clarify that, like at Aptum, we take data privacy very seriously. So that data is securely managed, and only a list of the participating venues is made public. SSI is more than just a report. It's targeted to be a strategic tool created for practitioners to inform and inspire action. It delivers valuable insights, highlights best practices and real world case studies, and helps organizations understand where they stand and where the industry is headed. And what practical steps they can make to have meaningful progress. It also helps foster collaboration between teams, venues, and experts across the industry. And most importantly, Aptum offers SSI as a free resource to the industry for their continued advancement in sustainability. So let's chat a little bit about our survey participants. Over the last 4 years, the Sustainable Sport Index has seen a steady and meaningful growth in participation. So we began in 2021 with just 20 venues, and in 2024, we reached 65 participants, which is over a 200% increase from our first year. This growth reflects not only just like the increasing interest in sustainability across the sports industry, but it also is just the strength of the relationships we've built with leagues and organizations. And these partnerships have just been key to expanding our outreach and engagement year over year. So you can see the map on the right. The orange dots are new participants that were in 2024, and the blue dots are returning venues year after year. And as we move forward, we're just really excited to build on this momentum and continuing to strengthen all of our relationships and working towards a more diverse representation of participants across the sports industry. So let's talk a little bit about the survey. And SSI follows a very consistent annual cycle. So right now, the 2025 survey is open. It just launched on May 1st, and it stays open for just over 2 months, closing in mid-July. We intentionally keep this window open while just to accommodate for the busy schedule of the sports world. As we know that when you're not hosting games, you're most likely hosting concerts or other events. So just flexibility is really key for us. After the survey closes, we move into our data analysis phase. So we review all of the questions and identify key insights and trends to include in our public benchmarking report, which is released later at the end of October. And again, this report is fully anonymized and it highlights industry-wide trends without identifying individual venues. So, but before that public benchmarking comes out, we really try and get those individual reports compiled and just sent out to you in August and September. And then in November, that cycle kind of begins over again. So we review feedback and refine survey questions and plan outreach just for the following year. So a little bit about how the survey works. Each venue receives a unique survey link. And remember that that link can be saved and returned to later, and it is also shareable across all of your departments. So you guys can save and send and share for different team members to contribute. And then the survey itself is 250 questions, but don't let that number scare you. About 45% are just yes, no questions to make it more manageable. And while we encourage full completion of the survey, almost all questions are optional. And the fact that only 3 questions are required, and one of those is your venue name. So let's talk about a couple updates we have for this year, which are exciting. The survey structure is intentionally consistent year over year, with about 95% of the questions kind of staying the same. This allows for returning venues to get familiar with the content and making future participation just more efficient. But each year, our team of like subject matter expertise, we review all of the questions and just make sure it's staying relevant and aligned with industry's best practices. So this year, to help with reduce confusion, we added a lot more examples and clarifying details to specific questions. You'll see that example about materiality assessments. We just wanted to make sure we added definitions so people understand what those types of questions mean and definitions. So this year we actually introduced pre-population for approximately 50% of the survey. And so that's because if you just go back one, Katie, real quick. Yeah, so we just have pre-populated answers. And so that is just really helps you guys, because we know that sustainability initiatives just take time to get implemented, and it doesn't change necessarily year after year. Just significantly reduce your time to complete the survey. And then open text responses and numerical data will not pre-populate. So that data does change annually anyway. So your waste diversion rate, that just needs to stay. And finally, as I mentioned, there are only 3 questions that are required. One is your venue name. The second is just your main point of contact. And this year, we're actually just requiring an additional contact to help us support with faster and smoother distribution of those individual reports. We just want to make sure that multiple people at your venue have access to the results, like when they're ready. And those are some great updates. And if we have any other questions, we can answer. But I will pass it to Jamie to talk more about our survey sections in specific detail.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Yeah, I'll also just preface by saying that I have kind of an interesting perspective with SSI. So I work on SSI as a team member here at Aptum. About half of my week is spent on SSI, but then my other half of my week is spent on client work. But I also was on the other side of SSI as a participant at one point in time. So I used to work for the Pittsburgh Pirates as a sustainability fellow, and within that role, I was responsible for completing our Sustainable Sport Index survey. So throughout the next couple slides, you'll also hear about my perspective and my experience with the survey and how that's kind of just influenced my view on SSI, working on the other side of it today. But anyways, so over the next couple slides, I'll go through the survey questions and I'll talk about the data we collect, the topics that we touch on throughout the survey, and all of that good stuff. So I won't read all of these sections off to you off of the slide, but as you can see, the survey touches on just about every aspect of sustainability. We cover the basics like waste, water, and energy, but we also touch on some more in-depth topics like procurement and environmental resilience, how you're engaging with your fans, what accessible accommodations you're providing. So with the survey touching on so many different topics, I highly recommend sharing the survey link within your organization. In my opinion, it's just very unlikely that one person will know every single answer to every single question in this survey. To give some more perspective, whenever I was filling out the survey, I worked in ballpark operations, and this was before the survey link was shareable to multiple different departments. So whenever I was completing the survey, I was asking our engineers about our HVAC system and what portion of our lights were LED. I was asking food and beverage about procurement policies, and I even reached out to ticket operations to ask about the number of ADA seats that we had available in the ballpark. So completing the survey can really be a group effort, and I think the survey is a great way to get more people at your venue involved in your sustainability program if you haven't done that already. So highly recommend sharing that survey link if you will be participating this year. Next slide, please. So the next 2 slides go over all of our survey sections. You can save these for your reference later on, but they go through all the survey sections, go through all of the types of information that we collect in each section, and then we also have some guidance here on who you might want to ask to get some of the answers to these questions if you don't know them yourselves. We try to point you to the right department as much as we can. So just touching on a couple points here, we go through the basics of how large is your venue, what's the capacity, what was your 2024 attendance, how many events did you host, all of that sort of stuff. But there are two pretty data-heavy sections that I do want to touch here on this slide. So the first one being that energy and carbon section. So in this energy section, we do ask for the 2024 energy consumption data from the venue. So we ask what their electricity usage was in 2024. We ask how much propane they used last year. We even ask about the number of gallons of fuel that they put in their fleet vehicles. So that section can get a little bit data heavy. But if you panicked when you saw carbon emissions and thought that we're going to ask for all of these crazy numbers about your carbon emissions, don't worry, we won't do that. The carbon emissions section is more so just check boxes and multiple choice questions asking what scopes you're tracking, how you track those emissions, if you're subject to any greenhouse gas regulations in your municipality, that sort of stuff. So don't panic about the carbon section. It's not too intense, but we do ask for a little bit more number heavy data under that energy section. The other section I want to touch on here is that waste management section. And I might be biased, but this section is kind of my favorite one of the survey because we ask for so many numbers, so we can get a lot of really cool insights at the end of the day. So in that waste management section, we ask for the venue's diversion rate if they are tracking that metric. And then after we ask for the diversion rate, we also ask for all of the different components and all of the different waste stream tonnage that make up that waste diversion rate. So how much cardboard did the venue use? Did you have any construction waste last year? How many tons of compost did you divert? We ask for all of that data, and with all of those numbers, as you can imagine, coming from 65 different venues, we really can put together some really neat insights. So it might seem like a lot of work up front, but that data really is worth it at the end of the day because that just goes back to the venues and goes into our public benchmarking report to better benefit the industry. Most of the other sections on this slide are pretty much multiple choice, yes, no, stuff like that. So those ones aren't too intimidating. We can go to the next one. It's pretty much the same deal on this slide. A lot of these sections are kind of winding down the survey. They're about 10 or so questions, give or take. Not too intense, but the one thing I do want to point out on this slide is the venue highlight section. So I think even Green Sports Alliance is a testament to the fact that venues learn really well from each other and from seeing different sustainability initiatives in practice and from hearing different testimonies and learning from each other on webinars and sort of engagement opportunities like this. So the more success stories, pictures, and sustainability program highlights that we can include in our benchmarking report, the better. So if you are going to be filling out the survey, don't be afraid to hit that section a little bit harder and add all of the pictures, add all of the testimonies. We love to hear your stories and share those stories with others to better benefit the industry. Next slide. So like I said, as someone who participated in SSI, I can definitely vouch for the fact that there are many benefits to participation. And there are a lot of reasons why venues should participate in SSI. The first one being that opportunity to benchmark yourself and see where you compare to other venues. So if you're implementing a couple sustainability initiatives, you're just starting out on your journey, you might be wondering kind of where you fall within the pack, if you're ahead, if you're behind. The survey helps you fill in those gaps and points out where you have opportunities to improve and where you're ahead. The next benefit to participation is that opportunity to identify and prioritize initiatives. So whenever I was filling out the survey, even though I had a sustainability and an environmental background, I learned about a lot of new sustainability initiatives that I never even thought of adding to our sustainability program at PNC Park. And the individual reports that I'll talk about on the next slide can really help guide those next steps in future planning for your sustainability program. So I found that component super helpful. Oh, back one slide. I'm still on that one. Thank you. But the next benefit that we have is that opportunity to build the business case for sustainability. So something that we always hear is that there's never enough funding for sustainability in sports. And in fact, 80% of our participants in 2024 said that a barrier to implementing sustainability at their venue was that upfront cost. So throughout our reports and throughout our survey, we try to really highlight those opportunities to offset some of those upfront costs of setting up your sustainability program. Whether it's solar panels or selling off your aluminum waste, we really want to make sure that your sustainability program is helping your bottom line rather than hurting your bottom line. And lastly is that opportunity to contribute to industry progress while prompting internal collaboration. So, like I said on the last slide, filling out the survey together and just sending it within your organization can really help start that conversation about sustainability internally. I know sometimes sustainability can kind of be siloed off in venue operations, and not a lot of other people within the organization know all of the great things that are going on for sustainability within the venue. And so I think that this is a great opportunity to engage your sponsorship team, engage your HR team, and whoever else wants to participate and is able to participate. They can learn more about your sustainability program, and it can kind of start a group effort towards a common cause, which I think is never a bad thing when you're in sports and sustainability. We can go to the next one. So lastly here, I think one of the greatest benefits of SSI is this confidential custom report that each venue gets in return for filling out the survey. So this individual report is an in-depth gap analysis that goes through almost every single survey question. And it points out where there's opportunities to improve, where the venue is following best practice, and where the venue is leading the industry. So in this report, we benchmark each venue against all of our participants. Like Gabrielle said, last year we had 65, but we also benchmark the venues against similar venues. So we understand that benchmarking a minor league ballpark to an NFL stadium might not be the best comparison. So we separate out those groups and make sure that you can see where you compare to everybody, but you can also see where you compare to similar venues. We also include an executive summary in these reports that highlights some practical recommendations that are tailored to each venue. So we also recognize that some solutions are more well suited for some venues than others. So we want to make sure that our reports are informative and actionable. And these are some things that you might be able to implement next year or a couple years down the line. So we really try to make these custom and so they benefit you the best that they can. And lastly, these individual reports are also supplemented with a complimentary one-on-one consultation. So this allows us to just dive deeper into the results and plan out practical next steps with guidance from our sustainability team. Whenever I was filling out the survey, I found this consultation super helpful to just brainstorm new ideas with the sustainability team and Aptum and pick their brains and spitball ideas back and forth. You never know what can come out of these meetings. So it was just really helpful to hear their perspective and see what they think might be in store for the venue in the next couple years and what fresh ideas they might bring. So with that all being said, I'll pass it back to Gabrielle and she'll just kind of talk about some housekeeping items for our 2025 survey.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. So some of you may have already received your email as we launched on May 1st, but please remember to keep that email as that is your venue's custom URL. You can start and stop at any time, and then you can also simply just save that link. But you can share that link with your colleagues, which is great. But if you don't see your link, be sure to reach out to the team, reach out to myself or Sustainable Sport, and then just make sure too to check your junk email just in case it did go there. It shouldn't, but yeah, sometimes they do end up in there. So just make sure to check there, and then let us know if there's anything we can do to be assistance. If you have any questions about the survey or where we can help. We can also support like an internal pitch or support like any questions with survey completion. If you are interested in downloading that 2024 public benchmarking report, you can actually scan this QR code just with your phone and it'll lead you right to our report download page. So you can go ahead and just scan that and it will lead you there. And yeah, so if you have any questions and you want to participate, if you are not a participant yet, reach out to us and we can get you a custom link. And yeah, we hope to see a lot of you at the Sports Summit. And now that we're done with that, we want to hear some amazing success stories and see what our friends are up to. So I will pass it off to Christy to chat about her amazing venue at Lumen Field.
Thanks. You can go to the next slide, Katie. Thank you. So I'm going to talk first about our involvement with SSI and how it has helped us. I'm going to be really, really honest because I think that that's fair for everybody. The first 2 years we did not participate and I had questions. I had a lot of questions of what am I going to get in return? What are they, why are they doing this? what are they going to get? What are they going to put out? I had all of these questions, and we did not participate till 2023. And that was by the nudging of FIFA, because we are a World Cup host venue. And I will say, even after we did that first report, and I sat down with the team in our one-on-one consultation, I had questions, and we worked through those questions. And one of them was that they have solved, and that's the auto population, because 250 questions can be a lot. So very excited to see that added this year through great conversations. Oh, Katie. I'll just keep going. So we've used the report for several different things, both internal and external benchmarking, looking at where we stood. And we've seen our report in where we stood with all the FIFA stadiums. And now we've added being able to see with the NFL as we get more NFL teams on board. And internally, it's just a way for us to say, here's where we were, here's where we at, and it's all in one spot. I don't have to pull in a bunch of different things. I have it. I can share it with leadership. I can share it with marketing, and we're able to pull out of that and use it for storytelling. Every year for my Earth Day report to our internal staff, I pull out areas that we can grow, or also the areas that we are leaders, to just celebrate what we're doing. So we'll go forward, and some of the things we've seen from our 2024 will be in this next report. We increased our diversion to 93%. We were in the 90s for years, and around end of 2019 and then through COVID, we had some real struggles, and we dropped to as low as 47% diversion at one point. We've been working to get that back up, and this year we were able to do that. In 2024, compared to 2023, we reduced our energy usage by 17%. That's a real testament to our facilities team, both with operational efficiencies that we've put in place, but also doing a lot of work to change out our old building to LED throughout. We just have a couple other big lighting projects on the exterior, and we will be up to 100% LED. We also spent some time partnering with Coke for an Earth Day event and cleaning up beaches in our area. We also did an e-waste with our hauling partner of DTG. And this last year, we were pre-certified for True Zero, and we will hope to get the full certification this year. Some of these things were in direct looking at our results and saying, what can we do more, and where are some areas that would be easy to jump on? And we'll go to the next slide. So in looking at our report, there's a couple areas we know we can grow, and they're part of our plan for 2025. And community activations is one of those, to engage with our community to grow sustainability, not just within our walls. One of the other areas that we're going to really highlight within that is water. So water is an area that we, through operational efficiencies, have gotten to where we can get, and are kind of limited on being able to make those changes in our walls. And so we're going to be working with this organization called Puget Sound Restoration Fund, and they do some really cool things, and it's going to be fun to work with them. They help reforest kelp in our local waters. They also help reestablish oyster fields. So that boat that you see has crushed up oyster shells on it, and then they shoot it into these spaces that help regrow the oyster fields. So we, through donation and time, are going to be working with this program to really invest in the waters of our area in a way that we just can't within our facility. And those are things that we identified through looking at our data from the report. The other area that we are going to highlight going into our 25 NFL season with the Seahawks is fan engagement, and really getting our fans to know what we do within the venue and to inspire and challenge them to do it outside in the community. Because I believe the best part of what we do within sport sustainability is what we teach our fans, because we can make all the changes, have the most energy efficient buildings. But if every one of the fans that come through our building change one behavior, that impact is much larger. So those are things that we're hoping to see when we go into the 26 SSI, that we will see huge improvements on. Next slide. I think that's the end, and I will send it on to Ryan.
All right, thanks, Christy. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to go over kind of where we're at as an organization on our sustainability journey, some key aspects of our program, and then talk about our involvement in SSI and the impact of that on our program. So you can go to the next slide. So Target Field was opened in 2010, and we identified sustainability and then LEED certification in general as a framework to use during construction. And so we achieved LEED Silver for new construction in 2010, and then we started going through the process of recertifying with LEED O&M. And so 2011, LEED Silver, and then we bumped up to LEED Gold in 2016, recertified in 2019, and then achieved LEED Platinum in 2022. And then we're currently in the process of recertifying for this year, for 2025. And then in 2021, we achieved the Gold Glove Award for the highest waste diversion rate. If you're not familiar with it, MLB literally makes a green glove kind of modeled after the Gold Glove for highest waste diversion in the league. So that's pretty cool. And then USGBC Leadership Award back in 2019. So just a little bit of our history. You can go to the next slide. So one of our, like everybody, waste diversion, right? A huge aspect of our focus over the years. We have a hand sorting team, after every event, sorts into recycling, organics, and trash. We use a custom sort table and a conveyor. You can see that at the bottom of the screen here. We're sorting all of our organic waste and straight in through the conveyor into our organics compactor, and then we're pulling out the recycling and the trash into brute barrels and putting that in the appropriate compactor. Back about 10 years ago, we relooked at our procurement, especially in our concession purchasing, and we transitioned to all compostable serviceware. So anything you drink out of or eat off of or eat with, like cups, plates, utensils, that sort of thing, is all compostable, which really was it bumped up our waste diversion rate quite a bit right away when we made that change. Still dealing with difficult items like snack packaging, like chips and like I think everyone's dealing with. So still some opportunities. Then single-use plastics like water bottles and then aluminum cans we're still recycling. We have a food donation program with our partners at Delaware North, donating. Last year we donated 18,000 pounds of hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff like that after each game to people in need. We recycle all of our fry oil that's used in the concessions, turns into biodiesel. And then in 2024, we achieved a 76% waste diversion rate. So still trying to get up to the Seahawks, but we're trying. And then the additional 24%, kind of a unique thing in Minneapolis, we send that to a waste to energy facility. Obviously that's, not ideal. We still want to send as much as we can to organics and donation and recycling, but we're not sending anything to landfill, which we think is a good thing. So. And then rainwater recycling. We have a custom rainwater recycling system through a partnership with a local water company, Pentair. This came in during construction. We recycle anywhere from 1 to 2 million gallons of water every year. We use this water to wash down the seating bowl after every game. Kind of how it works is it's taking water from our seating bowl drains and then the playing surface. So about 7 acres. And then it's stored in a 100,000 gallon cistern underneath the outfield warning track. So you can see that in these pictures at the bottom. These were taken during construction. 12-foot diameter cistern, covers the entire outfield warning track from foul pole to foul pole. So we really hope for rain during the spring to get and a lot of snow to get this cistern started. And then throughout the season, we're constantly recycling that water that we use for our wash down. So yeah, that's been an initiative we're really proud of, really through a partnership deal, right? Like would not be possible business sense without a strong partnership with Pentair. So you can go next slide. And then the survey. So we've been involved since 2021, doing the survey. And it's been talked about a lot, but I think for us personally, it's just a way to validate kind of where we're at, and then identify opportunities that we might not be so good at doing, right? And then being a participant for the last this will be year 5 now. We've been able to see the small additions to and changes in the survey, being able to see where the industry is going and making sure we're staying competitive as well. And then starting internal discussions. I fill out the survey, and it's nice to be able to engage with other departments and have an excuse to say, hey, I need to fill out this part of the survey. It's not my area. This is kind of falls under you. What are we doing? It's a nice way to get involvement from other departments that it's really crucial to involve. So last year, I saw it really successfully, being able to identify people in other departments that have a passion for sustainability. And then we actually formed a formal committee, which we hadn't done in the past, with marketing and concessions and purchasing, and really a lot of those departments that I had to reach out to for these questions for the survey. And then the report is great to have as well for internal sharing and external sharing. It's very comprehensive with all parts of sustainability. And then it really assists in learning as well. Like a lot of people, as a venue operator, we're not experts in sustainability. We don't know everything. And so being able to go through that survey every year, really, if you don't know the answer to something, you have to go out and find that answer. And it's a great way to learn. And then having the relationship with Gabrielle and Jamie, they're really experts in the sustainability world. So having that one-on-one conversation every year and having them as resources is a huge advantage as well. So I'd encourage, if you haven't done it, I'd encourage you to be involved. And the more teams that are doing it, the better it is for benchmarking and seeing where we're all at. So I think that's all I have. Thanks for having me.
All right.
I think we can get into some Q&A next. So after hearing everyone's testimony and our presentation on the survey this year, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat, whether it's on the insights we get from SSI, how the survey process works, if it's for Christy and Ryan on their venue sustainability programs. We'd be happy to answer any and all questions. We do have one in the question and answer box currently. It says, have you seen any partner organizations, teams, etc., start to pull back on their sustainability initiatives with the current negative political climate around sustainability? If so, what are some ways you've been able to work with them to showcase the continued importance of sustainability efforts and reporting? My initial reaction to this question was, unfortunately, we don't know yet, because whenever venues respond to the survey for Sustainable Sport Index, they report on the current year. So whenever they responded in 2024, they reported on 2023 data. When they respond in 2025, they'll report on 2024 data. I know that was a lot of numbers there, but we don't know yet, because the 2025 survey, we don't have those results in, and we won't really have the results on 2025 data until 2026. So unfortunately, I wish I had a better answer to that. And Gabrielle or Ryan, Christy, I don't know if you guys have anything to add, but I'll just add that I hope that we don't see any venues falling back. And I really think that there's been so much growth in this space that I really don't imagine a lot of venues or leagues backing off of their sustainability initiatives. So
yeah, I think that's a great response. And I also can add to it that a lot of sustainability initiatives, and I'd love to confirm from like the venue's point of view as well, is that there's a lot of ROI, return on investment in sustainability initiatives, because you are cost saving at your venue specifically, so whether you're saving on energy or waste or things like that. So I don't necessarily see a lot of people pulling back because you actually get that ROI. So hopefully not. And I mean, maybe the venues can chime in as well, but that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I can answer that too from a venue perspective. I think we've seen actually an increase in our partnership involvement in our sustainability program. I think the better we're getting at telling that story and our more involvement with our partnership team, the more they're selling it. And so we just had a partnership with Uponor, who's now our official water and plumbing partner. And so there's new partnerships that are actually coming along. So it's I've actually seen it increase, I think from my perspective. I don't know about you, Christy, but
I would definitely say the same. And I think on that partnership side as well, we have seen an increase of partners asking, either established partners asking to come alongside us. As you know, I talked about our relationship with Coke. They have come alongside our sustainability program for years, but we have others. And recently we've brought on several sustainable partners in that specific space. And anecdotally, as I talk to people throughout the industry, I've not seen anyone pulling back either.
yeah, and the only thing I'd add to that too is just kind of from my perspective too. I do find myself working with the partnership team and the partner to make sure that we're sharing the right story, that we're not maybe over exaggerating where we're at, just making sure we're not telling things that aren't exactly they might be true, but they might be misleading, kind of, if that makes sense.
Not falling into the greenwashing trap.
Exactly. I didn't want to use the term, but yes, greenwashing.
And it looks like this one is for Gabrielle and Jamie. Have you considered running a survey for more tournament/event focused, like tennis, golf, etc.? And what would it look like?
Yes, we have considered this, and we are starting to venture off on having more logic-based questions, because the survey is built on logic. So if you decide to answer whatever league you are in, or like football, we have looked at doing things like with tennis and golf. The only thing is those questions would have to shift because they are more temporary events. So maybe we would shift into another survey or just a portion of the survey, which would be targeted towards temporary events. So questions would just need to be specific towards that. But I think tennis can already get involved. I mean, this year, especially because they have established facilities. And if you already have a facility, then you can go ahead and participate in our survey this year. So we're happy to expand into tennis and golf and all of the things. We do want to see it, and we are on that trajectory to try and reach out and engage with them. So.
And this next question kind of goes hand in hand with that. And this is a lot of what the Green Sports Alliance deals with as well, is if you're a team and you're a tenant in a stadium, what can you really do, and how can you get into the sustainability efforts that your stadium might already have, or try and persuade them to go this way? So Christy, if you have some insight on that for the Sounders, it looks like Scott is asking you about it.
Yes, I saw that question. It is an area that we would like to develop more. With our venue, we have NWSL and MLS in our building. So being able to look at what they're doing and what we're doing and amplify it together is pieces we've done now. We're also looking at more of our messaging that is about our stadium, integrating it into not only our NFL game day messaging, but how can the Sounders or Reign also include it? And that trickles into our concerts too, as we have messaging about where to put your waste, or how to put your waste in bins or not. In our stadium, we'd rather have them leave it in the seats. All of that messaging, being able to integrate it into the programming of all of the tenants, is something that we are working toward. It's also being able to just amplify the work that they are doing outside of and in their practice facility, which, to that last question about other venues, I've asked the Aptum team and the SSI team often about practice facilities, and can we start tracking those, because those are another area where teams spend more of their time than in our large venues. I think it is an area, Scott, that we can all grow and work together to try and both amplify and push each other to be better.
Thanks, Christy. We're having a session dedicated to this at the summit with Athletes Unlimited and the Connecticut Sun WNBA team. So if you're coming, join us and we'll dive deeper into it. There's a question by Adam Ham talking about food waste and composting programs. I think me plus everyone in this industry could talk about this for hours on end. So shoot me an email. My email's in the webinar chat at the very top, katie@greensportsalliance.org. And I can connect you with folks specifically for those programs. And Scott has another question. I think.
I'll jump in on that one. And I will say, this is something that we are working very hard to get. The first step for us is going to be getting more smart metering so that we can get those 24-hour periods. And we do in our facility want to break it down, and we want to compare the different types of games and different types of events we have, and being able to potentially then compare them for an NFL game in another location. It I think is the next step, because even when I talked in my last slide about the 17% reduction in energy, that was a straight reduction across year over year. And I know, because I know all the other details, that our 23 and 24 from an event standpoint were very similar. But in the previous 22 to 23, we had a 11% drop straight across the board, but we had increased our attendance by 35% or more, and our number of events by like 8 large events and 20 small events. So we had a reduction, but it was actually a larger reduction when you looked at event and attendance change. So I think having that data to be able to really get into, are we making a difference, or are we just reporting, we just had a down year from events, and so we had energy and water saving. So I think those points are all very important, Scott.
Thanks, Christy. So one of the biggest things that we promote at the Alliance as well is benchmarking. So the SSI report has been very useful to us. It comes in anonymously, so you're not comparing yourself, especially apples to oranges, against, let's say, NFL and MLB, or even to the teams in your own league. You're going against yourselves, which at the end of the day will give you bragging rights and make you and your organization feel proud that you're getting better year after year, even if it's a 3% diversion rate increase or something like that. It's still worth talking about and feeling proud of. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Christy, Ryan, Jamie, and Gabrielle for hosting or helping host the webinar. And if anyone has any questions, I did leave Gabrielle and Jamie's emails in the chat. And you have my email as well. So feel free to reach out to us. And we hope to see you in Miami in less than a month. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.